Tathagata declares that all these molecules are not really such. They are called molecules. Furthermore, the Tathagata declares that a world is not really a world. It is called a world. Subhuti, what do you think? May the Tathagata be perceived by the 32 physical peculiarities of an outstanding sage. No, world-honored one, the Tathagata may not be perceived by these 32 marks. Wherefore? Because the Tathagata has explained that the 32 marks are not really such. They are called the 32 marks. Single quote. Subhuti. If on the one hand a good man or a good woman sacrifices as many lives as the sand grains of the Ganges, and on the other hand anyone receives and retains even only 4 lines of this discourse, and teaches and explains them to others, the merit of the latter will be the greater. Section 14. Perfect peace lies in freedom from characteristic distinctions. Upon the occasion of hearing this discourse, Subhuti had an interior realization of its meaning and was moved to tears. Whereupon he addressed the Buddha thus: "It is a most precious thing, world-honored one, that you should deliver this supremely profound discourse. Never have I heard such an exposition since of old my eye of wisdom first opened. World-honored one, if anyone listens to this discourse in faith with a pure, lucid mind, he will thereupon conceive an idea of fundamental reality. We should know that such a one establishes the most remarkable virtue. World-honored one, such an idea of fundamental reality is not, in fact, a distinctive idea. Therefore the Tathagata teaches, idea of fundamental reality is merely a name. World-honored one, having listened to this discourse, I receive and retain it with faith and understanding. This is not difficult for me. But in ages to come, in the last 500 years, if there be men coming to hear this discourse who receive and retain it with faith and understanding, they will be persons of most remarkable achievement. Wherefore? Because they will be free from the idea of an ego entity, free from the idea of a personality, free from the idea of a being, and free from the idea of a separated individuality. And why? Because the distinguishing of an ego entity is erroneous. Likewise the distinguishing of a personality, or a being, or a separated individuality is erroneous. Consequently those who have left behind every phenomenal distinction are called Buddhas all. Buddha said to Subhuti, just as you say. If anyone listens to this discourse and is neither filled with alarm nor awe nor dread, be it known that such a one is of remarkable achievement. Wherefore? Because, Subhuti, the Tathagata teaches that the first perfection, the perfection of charity, is not, in fact, the first perfection. Such is merely a name. Subhuti, the Tathagata teaches likewise that the perfection of patience is not the perfection of patience. Such is merely a name. Why so? It is shown thus, Subhuti. When the Raja of Kalinga mutilated my body, I was at that time free from the idea of an ego entity, a personality, a being, and a separated individuality. Wherefore? Because then when my limbs were cut away piece by piece, had I been bound by the distinctions aforesaid, feelings of anger and hatred would have been aroused in me. Subhuti, I remember that long ago, sometime during my past 500 mortal lives, I was an ascetic practicing patience. Even then was I free from those distinctions of separated selfhood. Therefore, Subhuti, bodhisattvas should leave behind all phenomenal distinctions and awaken the thought of the consummation of incomparable enlightenment by not allowing the mind to depend upon notions evoked by the sensible world, by not allowing the mind to depend upon notions evoked by sounds, odors, flavors, touch contacts, or any qualities. The mind should be kept independent of any thoughts which arise within it. If the mind depends upon anything, it has no sure haven. This is why Buddha teaches that the mind of a bodhisattva should not accept the appearances of things as a basis when exercising charity. Subhuti, as bodhisattvas practice charity for the welfare of all living beings, they should do it in this manner. Just as the Tathagata declares that characteristics are not characteristics, so he declares that all living beings are not, in fact, living beings. Subhuti, the Tathagata, is he who declares that which is true. He who declares that which is fundamental. He who declares that which is ultimate. He does not declare that which is deceitful, nor that which is monstrous. Subhuti, that truth to which the Tathagata has attained, is neither real nor unreal. Subhuti, if a bodhisattva practices charity with mind attached to formal notions, he is like unto a man groping sightless in the gloom. But a bodhisattva who practices charity with mind detached from any formal notions is like unto a man with open eyes in the radiant glory of the morning, to whom all kinds of objects are clearly visible. Subhuti, if there be good men and good women in future ages, able to receive, read and recite this discourse in its entirety, the Tathagata will clearly perceive and recognize them by means of his Buddha knowledge. And each one of them will bring immeasurable and incalculable merit to fruition. Section 15. The incomparable value of this teaching. Subhuti, if on one hand, a good man or a good woman performs in the morning as many charitable acts of self-denial as the sand grains of the Ganges, and performs as many again in the noonday and as many again in the evening, and continues so doing throughout numberless ages, and, on the other hand, anyone listens to this discourse with heart of faith and without contention, the latter would be the more blessed. But how can any comparison be made with one who writes it down, receives it, retains it, and explains it to others? Subhuti, we can summarize the matter by saying that the full value of this discourse can neither be conceived nor estimated, nor can any limit be set to it. The Tathagata has declared this teaching for the benefit of initiates of the Great Way. He has declared it for the benefit of initiates of the Supreme Way. Whosoever can receive and retain this teaching, study it, recite it and spread it abroad will be clearly perceived and recognized by the Tathagata and will achieve a perfection of merit beyond measurement or calculation, a perfection of merit unlimited and inconceivable. In every case such a one will exemplify the Tathagata consummation of the incomparable enlightenment. Wherefore? Because. Subhuti. Those who find consolation in limited doctrines involving the conception of an ego entity, a personality, a being, or a separated individuality are unable to accept, receive, study, recite and openly explain this discourse. Subhuti, in every place where this discourse is to be found, the whole realms of gods, men and titans should offer worship. For you must know that such a place is sanctified like a shrine, and should properly be venerated by all with ceremonial obeisance and circumambulation and with offerings of flowers and incense. Section 16. Purgation through suffering, the retribution for past sins. Furthermore, Subhuti, if it be that good men and good women who receive and retain this discourse are downtrodden, their evil destiny is the inevitable retributive result of sins committed in the past mortal lives. By virtue of the present misfortunes, the reacting effects of their past will be thereby worked out, and they will be in a position to attain the consummation of incomparable enlightenment. Subhuti, I remember the infinitely remote past before Dipankara Buddha. There were 84,000 myriads of multi-millions of Buddhas. And to all these I made offerings. Yes, all these I served without the least trace of fault. Nevertheless, if anyone is able to receive, retain, study and recite this discourse at the end of the last 500-year period, he will gain such a merit that mine in the service of all the Buddhas could not be reckoned as 1/100th part of it, not even 1,000 myriad multi-million part of it, indeed, no such comparison is possible. Subhuti. If I fully detailed the merit gained by good men and good women coming to receive, retain, study and recite this discourse in the last period, my hearers would be filled with doubt and might become disordered in mind, suspicious and unbelieving. You should know, Subhuti, that the significance of this discourse is beyond conception. Likewise the fruit of its rewards is beyond conception. Section 17. No one attains transcendental wisdom. At that time Subhuti addressed Buddha, saying, World-honored one, if good men and good women seek the consummation of incomparable enlightenment, by what criteria should they abide and how should they control their thoughts? Buddha replied to Subhuti, Good men and good women seeking the consummation of incomparable enlightenment must create this resolved attitude of mind. I must liberate all living beings, yet when all have been liberated, verily not anyone is liberated. Wherefore, if a bodhisattva cherishes the idea of an ego entity, a personality, a being, or a separated individuality, he is consequently not a bodhisattva, Subhuti. This is because in reality there is no formula which gives rise to the consummation of incomparable enlightenment. Subhuti, what do you think? When the Tathagata was with Dipankara Buddha, was there any formula for the attainment of the consummation of incomparable enlightenment? No, world-honored one, as I understand Buddha's meaning, there was no formula by which